Hey, I'm Jimmy from Superpath, and today I'm here with Laura Kendall, VP of Marketing at MadKudu. How are you, Laura?
Good, Jimmy. Excited to be here.
So you're hiring for kind of an interesting role. So it's a product marketing manager role with a heavy emphasis on content. Is that fair to say?
Yes, yes, well said.
So I want to talk a lot about this role, but maybe first you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and MadKudu, just to sort
Yeah,
of set some context for us.
yeah. So my background has always been in B2B marketing, but I think what's more impressive is talking a bit about MadKudu, and we're on a mission to really help marketing teams turn the massive amounts of data that they have at their disposal into revenue by way of insights. So the way we do that is really threefold. At our core, we are an AI-based predictive technology that supports, lead scoring and segmentation of all of your leads and contacts or leads and accounts. Predictive models is not, in and of themselves an entirely new concept, but the beauty of what we do at MadKudu is our models allow for clients to predict the fit and the likelihood of that person or that account to buy in real time, which is kind of the big differentiator for us. So what that means is marketers like yourselves can now fully customize and personalize that B2B buyer journey. So what I like to tell people is think about any marketing channel that you're currently running, any program that you're running, and how would you potentially change that if you knew ahead of time how much value that lead or account would bring to your organization. You'd probably want the really, really high fit leads to have immediate access to your sales rep's calendar, right? So that's one example of how a lot of our customers use MadKudu.
Got
The
it.
last piece is the intelligence layer that we recently launched that provides actionable insights. And my favorite, and to kind of distill everything into one statement, is being able to articulate the future revenue that your marketing campaigns that you're running today will bring is game changing for marketing leaders, right? We're constantly having to look backwards or try to justify the expense that we're putting into programs and our efforts. And then we also provide a lot of reports and dashboards that make it easier to have conversations, with your marketing and sales teams about real issues the alignment of sales and marketing and SLAs, budget allocation, and so on and so forth. So that's at a high level, a bit about MadKudu in 30 seconds.
Got it. That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like MadKudu is kind of like a mix of bread and butter B2B marketing plus some of the cutting edge stuff, like the predictive stuff, the AI stuff, like that stuff is kind of just now becoming commonplace. So it seems like a cool opportunity to be right at the core of all the exciting things going on in the B2B space.
Yeah, totally. And on the cusp of this kind of wave that we're riding of, the changing way that marketers are measuring themselves and like I said, better articulating the value they provide to the business.
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about the role specifically. So the title, product marketing manager, and obviously we'll link out to the description so folks can read it. It sounds like some of the things are exactly what I would expect in a product marketing role,
Yep.
but it does look like there's an emphasis on content marketing. So could you kind of just walk us through the role? What is this person's job going to be?
Yeah. So you hit the nail on the head. It's, no different than a lot of, PMM roles that are out there and even those that do have an emphasis on content. But we're looking for someone to really take our content to the next level and continue to develop and own the messaging and positioning of MadKudu. And then in turn, turn it into really hyper relevant content and assets. So essentially, this is a marketer that would own the entire content strategy from top of the funnel to sales enablement, but will also be hands-on in creating the tier one content pieces. And, assuming you're going to ask me, will this person have resources? Because that's a whole lot to cover. Absolutely. The beauty is that coming in the ground level, at an early stage company like this, you get to kind of help develop what those resources are in terms of more, internal resources or external. It's also worth noting that we're writing for marketers and a lot of our buyers have a technical background. They're very business savvy, but are analytical. And so they're not going to tolerate fluff. They want pragmatic, data-backed content. So it's super important that this person understands the day-to-day of a B2B marketer. Also important is the ability to distill complex ideas into simple concepts. I think, you mentioned like cutting edge, AI, machine learning, predictive. Not every marketer really understands that. And when, you talk at different levels in the organization, there's different degrees of familiarity with those terms. And so how do we connect with the buyer in the right way? So for that reason, someone with true B2B SaaS domain experience is going to be key. Someone that really gets those struggles and the frustrations that modern, or today's B2B marketers have is very important. Also someone who is a little bit opinionated, and they have a point of view based on the challenges that they've experienced in their previous roles. So, not looking for someone who can write SQL, but, certainly can ask the right questions in order to extract insights and tell a really great story.
Cool. I love it. Will this person report directly to you? And then also,
Yes.
what does marketing look like at MadKudu? Like who else is involved?
Great question. So I am building the team out kind of from the ground up right now. So I have some external resources that we're leveraging and looking to bring in headcount to really expand upon the learnings and the winnings that we've achieved so far. And so, like I mentioned, this will be one of our first hires. So we're bringing in 2 folks this year. And so they will be working very closely with our product team, our data scientists, and our founders to not only like brainstorm key topics to explore for content, but also how to message our, the key features of the product itself, but also working very closely with our sales and customer success teams and ensuring that they're armed with the right tools to articulate the value that we're providing to, different buyer personas, different segments of the market that we work with, so on and so forth.
That's cool. I actually really like that you're positioning. It seems like you could give this person a content title. I like that you're giving them a product marketing title because it sets the expectation that they're going to work closely with product dev, sales, definitely. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And I think it's also important. I mean, we work with some of the most innovative and forward-thinking marketing teams, from like Gusto to Intercom to Segment, MongoDB. And so this person really understanding how our product solves those problems is crucial, right? Because, what better way to tell the story of success than to use a third party to tell it for you.
Right. It may be too early to answer this question, but just curious if you have thoughts on it. How will this person be measured? Like, are there certain metrics that you're looking for this person to be moving the needle on, whether it be page views, MQLs, SQLs, or something else?
Yeah. So great question. I mean, we're thinking a lot about what success we've seen in content and where we want to see that go. So for us, it's really important that our engagement, the content that is produced is being engaged with by good fit leads, right? Like it's, I think everyone's out here saying we want content so we can get eyeballs, but we want to put an extra layer on that. Like we want the right eyeballs. So measuring based on, page views is great, but also conversions, content will be used to support our demand gen and our account-based strategies. And so whether we're getting engagement from our target accounts, whether we are seeing conversion rates through organic or through review sites or, through promotion of case studies or what have you, are the conversions coming from folks in our ICP. Another layer will be looking at when we have product launches, for example, press coverage, demos requested, any upsell or new revenue can all be tied back to this role.
Got it. Are there any things in particular that you'll be looking for in applications, whether it's certain things in a writing sample, certain types of experience, certain industries, or anything else?
Yeah, I think, having a background and having experienced some of the pain points that our customers experience is going to be incredibly helpful. And so, not only that, but in writing samples, like show some great writing samples that are data backed and opinionated. So not really just recapping what we've heard other people say, but what is your point of view on a particular subject? I think those would be kind of key areas that we're going to be looking for in determining whether to move candidates further through the hiring process.
Got it. Cool. I would encourage folks to pay close attention to that as they're submitting
And
writing samples.
Yeah. And I also, the other thing is, while this does have product marketing as the title, it's not as important to me that this person has years of experience as a product marketer, right? If they haven't, put together a buyer persona or done, super deep competitive intel, like that's okay. It's more important that they have the experience of, distilling those complex ideas into or complex concepts into simple ideas, and really being able to understand, I think I've said it 4 times now, the challenges that our buyers have, because again, we're marketers talking to marketers.
Yeah, I think I'll just sort of speak directly to people listening to this for a second. Like I talk a lot on our blog and podcast and our paid membership about how important it is for folks who create content to understand the challenges that the sales team has experienced, to have good relationships with folks who are on the kind of the front lines every day, and then also get to know customers, because you really, it's very difficult. Keyword research is never going to tell you what the customer's problems really are. The only way you'll find that stuff out is by establishing those relationships. Sometimes you can create really good excuses to get to know customers by reaching out to create case studies, or asking for a quote in an article you're working on, or things like that. But like little things like that open these doors to these good relationships with customers that make you better at your job and make content more effective for the company too.
Right. Yep. Well said.
Can we talk about location for a second? Y'all are based in the Bay Area. I think you have office in Paris as well.
Yeah. Which has been a very positive, I would say, as we've made this shift to kind of full remote. Given we're, Series A startup, we're about 30 employees. That shift to going full virtual was not, we didn't skip a beat, right? Because we, in order to be a bicontinental organization, you have to have the infrastructure in place to allow for asynchronous communication. And so, really, really happy and proud of the team for all the effort that's gone into it.
That's awesome. And it sounds like you prefer someone to be in the Bay Area for what will hopefully be hopefully soon
a future global, very large team. But for now, yes, we're prioritizing candidates in the Bay Area. However, I will say that, if there is a rock star candidate that is remote or, somewhere else in the US, we're certainly open to considering.
Okay, great. Anything else about the role that we didn't cover that people should know about?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I've been with the company for about 6 months. And so just to share a bit about like my experience, having come from a variety of different types of B2B SaaS organizations, it's truly an opportunity to really scale and grow your career quickly. Anytime you join a startup, it kind of skyrockets in the best way possible. And specifically with MadKudu, it's really such a relief to be working with founders and with an organization that not only loves marketing, but respects it. And, we're working with marketers day in and day out. Our product is meant to solve problems that marketers have. And so, being part of a marketing team at a company like that is really just icing on the cake in career growth. We're also heading into a super exciting year as we've seen some amazing growth and a lot of learnings, throughout the chaos of 2020. And so we're heavily investing in our go-to-market teams and, great opportunity to get in at the ground up or ground floor.
Yeah,
of a startup.
I would totally echo exactly what you just said. I mean, another thing that I find myself saying a lot is hitch your wagon to a growing company. It's going to be great for your career. For folks who are interested, there's a button below and to the side where you can express your interest in the role. We'll be screening doing like a basic screening first, looking at experience and writing samples, and then inviting folks to actually go on ahead and apply. So encourage you, if you're interested, to click that button, fill out the form, and we'll be in touch. Laura, really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll have some good folks for you here pretty soon.
Yes, thanks so much, Jimmy. I look forward to talking to everyone.
Take care.